Ethiopia used its flagship commercial airline to transport weapons during war in Tigray. It's the first time this weapons trade between the former foes has been documented during the war. Experts said the flights would constitute a violation of international aviation law, which forbids the smuggling of arms for military use on civil aircraft. Atrocities committed during the conflict also appear to violate the terms of a trade program that provides lucrative access to the United States market, and which Ethiopian Airlines has benefited greatly from. Ethiopian Airlines is a state-owned economic powerhouse that generates billions of dollars a year, carrying passengers to hubs across the African continent and all over the world. And it is also a member of the Star Alliance, a group of some of the world's top aviation companies. The airline previously issued 2 denials about transporting weapons. Military refills. Long simmering tensions between Ethiopia's government and the ruling party in the Tigray region exploded on November 4, when Ethiopia accused the Tigray People's Liberation Front of attacking a federal army base. Abiy Ahmed, Ethiopia's Nobel Peace Prize-winning prime minister, ordered a military offensive to oust the TPLF from power. Government forces and regional militias poured into Tigray, joined on the front lines by troops from Eritrea.
On November 9, 5 days after Abiy ordered a military offensive in Tigray, records show an Ethiopian Airlines flight transported guns and ammunition from Addis Ababa to Asmara, Eritrea's capital. And a cargo manifest from that date showed that Ethiopian Airlines charged Ethiopia $166,398.32 for about 2,643 pieces of DFS and riffle with ANM on that flight. DFS is a reference to dry foodstuff according to airline sources. As planes went back and forth between the two countries, massacres of Tigrayans in the city of Aksum and the village of Dengelap by Eritrean troops took place on November 19 and November 30 respectively. Cargo documents show that the series of flights between Ethiopia and Eritrea continued until at least November 28, 2020. Some current and former Ethiopian Airlines employees, who spoke on condition of anonymity for fear of repercussions, said the flights continued past this date but that the majority of arms trips to Eritrea were in November. A Boeing representative declined to comment. Ethiopian Airlines workers described witnessing other airline employees loading and unloading arms and military vehicles on flights directed to Asmara. A few even claimed they helped load the weapons on the planes themselves. All spoke of being ethnically profiled for being Tigrayan. The cars were Toyota pickups which have a stand for snipers, the employee said. I got a call from the managing director late at night informing me to handle the cargo. Soldiers came at 5 a.m. to start loading 2 big trucks loaded with weapons in the pickups. I had to stop a flight to Brussels, a 777 cargo plane, which was loaded with flowers. Then we unloaded half of the perishable goods to make space for the armaments. The former employee warned soldiers that the vehicles were carrying far more gas than was allowed under international air transport rules, but said they were overruled after a direct call from an army commander. He said, "We are going to war and we need the fuel to be loaded," the employee said. Then I referred the issue to my manager and my manager took responsibility and allowed them to load it. Days later, the employee said they were temporarily suspended from work. They believed they were suspended for being Tigrayan but also for the incident with the soldiers. The employee fled Ethiopia in March. It appears to be not the only long-distance international flight with unplanned stops. A flight from Addis Ababa to Shanghai on November 9, 2020, took a long detour via Eritrea according to the ADSB signal that tracks the route on Flight Radar 24. Several employees at the Addis Ababa airport said they saw multiple weapons flights leave for Eritrea each day at the outset of the conflict. They also spoke about flights carrying weapons from Eritrea back to Ethiopia. It's unclear why armaments were being transferred back to Ethiopia. All the employees said they were instructed by the airline to delete photos of the weapons from their phones. Not all of them did. In June, photos circulated on social media platforms showing crates containing mortars on board an Ethiopian Airlines flight and the same crates being loaded on the plane in Massawa, Eritrea. The company released a statement strongly denying the allegation that its planes were transporting weapons and claimed the photos were photoshopped. The images show a variety of mortars stacked up in the crates. Dan Kasheta, A London-based defence specialist and an associate fellow at the Royal United Services Institute, identified the mortars as 832Du 82mm mortar rounds, originally made in Russia but with many versions subsequently manufactured, including in Bulgaria. A representative for TSO C172 cargo straps manufacturer Safe Bridport declined to comment. A lot of legal repercussions. Ethiopia's status as a regional economic powerhouse is partly dependent on Ethiopian Airlines' dominance in cargo. The country and the airline have benefited from an American trade program that provides favorable access to the US market for countries that meet certain criteria. This relationship matters for both countries. In 2017, US exports to Ethiopia consisted primarily of aircraft and aircraft components from Boeing, valued at more than $857 million. But a clause in the US African Growth and Opportunity Act stipulates that eligible nations must not engage in gross violations of internationally recognized human rights. In late August, US Trade Representative Catherine Tai warned Ethiopia's chief trade negotiator that the ongoing violations of internationally recognized human rights in Tigray could affect Ethiopia's future eligibility if unaddressed. This story has been updated to include a statement from Emirates Sky Cargo and correct the spelling of the Ethiopian city of Bahir Dar.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.